Welcome to the Master Dealmaker's Secrets podcast. And now, here's sales growth strategist, John Blake.
Welcome to Master Dealmaker's Secrets. I'm John Blake. This is episode 72. And today I'm going to share with you 5 of the most powerful questions that you should be asking in your sales conversations when you're talking to clients. I think this is going to be really valuable for you. And before we get into that, I want you to head over to johnblakeaudio.com. And the reason why is because if you've got lead flow in your business, if you've got leads that you've spoken to but haven't converted yet, I often find that there's a big bottleneck in almost every business that I speak to in terms of proposal presented or proposal sent. If you've got a whole stack of people in that particular part of your pipeline, head over to johnblakeaudio.com, and what you'll get is the audio training that I share with my personal clients that will allow you to actually double your sales with those people that have inquired but haven't gone ahead yet. This is the exact same strategy, as I said, that I help my clients implement, and once you actually implement it, it can absolutely turn your business around. I've used this so many times to turn people's business around and help them to generate a stack more cash flow and sales revenue without actually spending any more on ads. So head over to johnblakeaudio.com. What you'll also get, in addition to the audio training, is that you'll get the exact word-for-word scripts, exactly what to write in the emails, exactly what to say if you are going to leave a voicemail message, exactly what to say once you actually get through to the person, and what you will also get is the framework, the 8-week framework. So exactly when to call, exactly when to email, and how to do that over an 8-week period to get in contact with someone and get a yes or a no. But what I can tell you is that you're going to get more yeses than no's, and those yeses are basically hidden money sitting there in your pipeline. So head over to johnblakeaudio.com and grab that now. Okay, so 5 power questions. Now, to qualify this, I obviously these questions I'm giving them to you independent of the overall sales framework, which is obviously what you'll learn with me in the advanced lead conversion mastery system and also in my one-day professional sales masterclass. But I'll give you context in terms of when in the sales process to actually ask these questions, but these are really, really powerful questions. Okay, so the first one is why me? Or if you're representing a company, you would say, so what any particular reason that you decided to contact us? Now, the reason that you would ask that question is because we live in a world where sometimes we are quite well qualified in the eyes of our potential client, and then there are other times when we are quite commoditized in the eyes of our clients. So that question allows you to work out exactly where you sit in terms of that kind of specialized positioning. So if you say, so any particular reason that you decided to call XYZ company, or us in particular, or me if you're a consultant, there's a couple of different answers to that question. The first answer to that question is, I just Googled you, right? In which case, you are being perceived as at that particular point in time, at least, as a commodity. Like I Googled. I Googled financial planners and 3 came up, and so I'm calling you and I'm calling the other 2 that came up on the first page of Google, right? So there's no real unique positioning there at all. And that determines how you need to proceed with the remainder of that conversation. That gives you some insight into what your unique positioning or otherwise looks like in the eyes of that particular person. The other answer that you might get is, you came really highly referred to me by, existing, XYZ existing client, or even, someone that you don't know, because that happens sometimes. So you've got a, almost like opposite ends of the spectrum. You've got really commoditized, which is I Googled you and you were one of the top 3 that came up. And the other one is, my brother-in-law used you guys and said you were amazing. So, the answers to both of those, both of those answers will allow you to work out how to proceed in the actual conversation from there. So that's a really, really important question to ask, especially at the start of your process. The second one is why now? So, and another way of asking that is, why is this a priority now? Because what you're looking for is, you ask that question because what you're looking for is the trigger event. What's the urgency? Why is this now a priority? Because you can work with a client that's motivated, or you can work with a client that isn't motivated, and I'm sure that you would prefer to be working with clients that are motivated. So in terms of qualifying people to work out whether they're dinkum or not, and whether they're going to represent an actual good opportunity as a client, whether they're going to be good to work with, whether they're going to get back to you, whether they're going to be responsive, it's a really powerful question to ask. Why has this become a priority? So if you're, talking to somebody about financial planning, they could say, I've just realised that, we're getting older and, we've decided that we really need to put a plan in place. Otherwise, we're still going to be working when we're 70. Okay, so, tell me more about that. My brother-in-law, I was talking to him and he's, still working and he's got, virtually no money left to retire on and da-da-da-da. So there'll be a reason behind that, and that's what you want to explore, because that represents the motivation and the and what will make that person be motivated to work with you, and also be motivated to want to make a decision quickly. So all of those things are really important to bring to light, and you start that process by asking a question like, why now, or why is this a priority now? So that's the second question. Third one is, how long have you felt like this? So in a situation where somebody has expressed either a problem that they're experiencing or the motivation behind why it was that they've actually decided to contact you, if you can ask a question like, how long have you been feeling like this? How long has this been an issue for you? What you're again doing is you're creating an environment where that person can examine how motivated for themselves. They can examine for themselves, how motivated am I to actually do something about this? How long have I been putting up with this? So that's a very important question to ask as well, to one, gauge motivation, to work out whether this person represents somebody that you can help, but two, help the person to understand for themselves, like, how long do you want to keep putting up with this? How long do you want this to still be a problem for, in your world? So, you're discovering for yourself, but you are helping the person discover for themselves, which is as if not more important than you discovering for yourself. So that's number 3. The fourth one is, that sounds important. Can you tell me more about that? So if somebody expresses a problem to you, or or a particular trigger event that's caused them to want to get in contact with you, ask them to explain more about that. Because the more that they examine the motivation, the more that they focus on the problem that they want to solve, the more motivated that they will be to want to do something about it. So simply asking, well, that sounds important, can you tell me more about that? Creates that environment where the person can really examine, what's going on in their own world. And again, you're facilitating an environment where they can work out whether they actually want to do something about it or not. And having gone through that process and having examined that problem and having focused on that particular issue will, again, mean that the person is more motivated to actually do something about it once they come on board as a client. And what would you prefer to have, a more motivated client or a less motivated client? I think you would prefer to have a more motivated client. Another really good question that you can ask is, you would ask this question once you've actually uncovered the problem, and the person spent a bit of time, examining the impact of that problem and whether they actually want to do something about it or not. A really good question to ask is, so what does this look like in 12 months if you do nothing? So what that allows the person to do is they fast forward out 12 months' time and they go, well, wow, I've just realised that this is an issue and it's really annoying me and the impact is something that's not very pleasant. Do I want to put up with this for another 12 months? Right? And in most cases, the answer is going to be no. And again, it boils back down to the motivation to actually want to do something about it. So, if you want to find out more about how these questions fit into the overarching process, because I've just given you, a couple of questions that sit, within the actual sales framework itself. I do have an advanced lead conversion mastery online program coming up. So I'm actually really excited about it. I have never released this information outside of my public programs. Obviously, the zombie apocalypse that's happening at the moment. I shouldn't laugh because I know it's very serious in a lot of areas, but has facilitated the perfect time to roll this out. So I'm going to be releasing it very shortly, and this is just part of what it is that we'll be teaching in terms of the actual sales framework and some of the other key areas around lead nurture, lead generation. And retaining your clients once they actually come on board with you. So, if you're on my email list, you will receive notification on this, and obviously through the socials and all the other bits and pieces. So but in the meantime, start using these questions. They will make a massive difference to, one, your conversions, and two, the quality of the clients that you actually bring on board. So thanks again for listening, and I will talk to you on the next podcast. Cheers.
You've been listening to Master Dealmaker's Secrets with John Blake. Subscribe to get more in-depth strategies to maximize your sales process with new episodes every week. And double your inquiry to sale conversion with the lead flow you already have. Go to johnblakeaudio.com for his exclusive free no-fluff audio training and companion PDF guide.